All right, and we are back. Another episode of After the Huddle here. It's your boy Jacob. Jared always to my left. What's good, Gino? Appreciate y'all coming in to start. Got a good show for y'all. What a way to kick off the NFL season by watching a great game.
Wonderful game.
Uh, Wonderful game. It was nice to be able to see, football again. You could tell though that it's week one. You could tell that these players didn't play a lot in the preseason because it was some sloppy football out there. It really was. We're used to watching the Chiefs put up 30 plus points a game with ease.
Yeah,
And
we're used to seeing them mollywop people.
yeah, so I mean, for us to see them score 20 points at home in a season opener, uh, that's saying something.
It,
So
it does not help one bit that Travis Kelce was out. Um, Everybody was dropping passes left and fucking right. Uh, Kadarius Toney had 3 drop passes on top of a drop pass that turned into a pick six.
oof,
I think Sky Moore had 3 targets. I think he only had 1. Um, the Chiefs started with 7 wide receivers last night. I don't know if you heard that or noticed that, but they started with every wide receiver on their practice on their roster, and it showed. Like outside of Travis Kelce, they have absolutely nobody.
yeah, and we kind of saw that coming. Uh, but I want people to look at this though, okay? Because this is what happens to a quarterback. No matter the talent, it doesn't matter the talent. It doesn't matter how good you could throw. It doesn't matter how well you move in the pocket. If you don't have guys that can go out there and get separation and catch the ball, you are going to look pedestrian. Your numbers at least will be pedestrian. They're, I mean, Patrick Mahomes went 21 of 39 for 226, 2 touchdowns, and that pick six. That's his first loss that he had in week one since his career started. So, yeah, they were without Travis Kelce. They were also without Chris Jones, and you could tell. Now, I got to give the Chiefs defense credit. They did where they were able to still sustain a decent pass rush, even with Chris Jones not being there. So I gotta give them some props. They kept. I mean, you figure Detroit's offense only scored 14 points.
Yeah, and I mean that they wouldn't have scored that 14 if they never had that pick six.
Yeah, you
They
know what I'm
would have lost.
saying?
They really would have lost the game if that pick six would have never happened.
Yeah, because Jared Goff for some reason just couldn't get it going as much as I thought he was gonna. But then again, like I said, it is week one. He did go 22 of 35. Yeah, it's okay. 253 and a touchdown. David Montgomery had a solid outing, 74 yards and a touchdown. Did you see that fake punt?
Yeah,
That shit was crazy. From their own 17-yard line. Now
that's what
that's a
that's what
ballsy call.
that's what got that game going.
Yeah,
That's
that's a ballsy call. And then same drive. Jared Goff finds Amon-Ra St. Brown for the touchdown on that same drive. So obviously it was great. Brian Branch with the pick six. I don't really gift that interception to Patrick Mahomes. That interception is gifted to Kadarius Toney. Because the simple fact that we saw it literally right here, right here. It wasn't excuse me. It wasn't way out here. It wasn't way behind him. It was right here, and he just right through his hands.
yep.
Uh, Kudos to Brian Branch for reading the play and being able to react on the ball like that as quick as he did.
His first career
Um,
pick six.
first career pick. First career pick.
Yep, against
I mean,
Mahomes.
against Mahomes. Now that's a story you can tell your kids.
Yep.
Um, but what else they got here? This dude flying around me. But yeah. So I mean, it was a good game. Big props to the Lions for coming away with that one. They did just enough. It was a 1 point game. Uh, did just enough in order to do what they needed to do to catch the victory. Now me and Jared did both pick the Chiefs outright, but I did say if you're betting, take the Lions plus 5.5 at the time. It was 5.5 when the game started. It was like 3.5 because Kels was gone. But take 5.5 and take the under 52.5. Sure enough, both those hit. So you know where you should be getting your information from. But
Yeah,
some other news. In light of everything that's happened, Joe Burrow and Joey Bosa, I mean, and Nick Bosa
yeah,
become the top paid players in their respective positions. And we saw it coming, though. I mean, we
yeah,
knew they were going to get paid.
yeah. You know, Burrow got 275 over 5 years. Bosa got 170 over 5 years. Speaking of the 49ers, the 49ers are paying out top money to four of the top. No. Let me rephrase. They're paying out top money to four of the positions on their team. They have the highest paid players on their for their position on their team.
Running back, left tackle.
Oh, I didn't
Now,
forget. I forgot left tackle. So five.
yeah, Trent Williams. You got to remember Trent Williams.
Yeah. So I counted CMC,
Mm-hmm.
Debo. Who else was it? Fred Warner and Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
And then Trent Williams, like you said. So that's five.
And then that's not even including,
What's going on,
Brandon
Josh?
Ayuk. Oh, what's up, Rock? What's up, Lil Rock? Yeah, that's not even including, Brandon Ayuk. He's got a 5th-year option they have to pick up.
George Kittle.
What's that? Is that Armstead? Is it a Rock Armstead or something like that? He's also owed like 19 million, maybe 20 in the 20s. Like they have a huge salary cap to pay out next year. Now, all I've been hearing from a lot of people is, oh, well, they're going to restructure the contracts and they're going to You think all those guys are going to restructure their deals?
We forgot Javon Hargrave from Philly.
Yep.
The D tackle.
Yep.
So that's 6.
Yeah. They have a lot to pay out, a lot of money to pay out next year. And what's it called? And so I'm wondering to see how it goes. But I mean, everybody's, they're going to restructure their contracts. Like everybody's going to restructure their contract, bro. That's not the way it works. Trent Williams is on the back end of his career. You really think he's going to restructure his contract? No.
On top of that, he's probably the best left tackle in the league.
Yeah, right now he is.
Yeah.
When he's healthy, when he's on the field.
Yeah.
But he's on the back end of his career. He's getting paid 24 plus $1 million or something like that. 25 plus million. Why the fuck would he restructure his contract? He's not going to play much longer.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. Now I can understand, picking up Brandon Ayuk's 5th-year option. Maybe you can restructure Fred Warner's deal. I doubt Christian McCaffrey is going to restructure his deal with as much shit that's going on in the running back situation.
On top of that, he's hurt every other year.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I don't believe that they're going to be able to keep a lot of the talent around them.
No.
I genuinely think they're going to have to trade at least one of those players away.
I was telling the group chat that I'm in with the Keeper League because we were talking about the Seattle winning the division, and
yep.
They were saying, I forgot what we had said, but I told them Seattle could win the division if San Francisco regresses, and then somebody had said they don't see San Francisco regressing. I'm like, well, honestly, that all depends on Brock Purdy. Because their window right now is right now with Purdy. Brock Purdy costs 99 cents right now.
Yep.
So
that boy costs a ham sandwich.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He costs 99 cents right now. You're paying top dollar to 6 players on your team at the position. So you need to go win one right now. Before it's too late.
And you've been in this position for how many years now? Like at least 4.
Yeah. You
A
guys see,
minimum of 4.
let's count
Like,
them.
how much longer do you think your Super Bowl window is going to be open?
Right. Let's count them. You got You had the KC San Francisco game.
Yep.
The year after that, what was the year after that?
Wasn't that Rams Patriots?
I think so.
Because that was Tom Brady's last year, or
Yeah.
was that backwards? Was that backwards?
It might be backwards.
It might have been backwards. Because then Tom went to Tampa Bay, and then they won one in Tampa Bay. And then you had
the following year, I think, was the San Francisco Philly game, which was last year.
Yeah.
And Brock Purdy got hurt.
Yeah.
And then you got this year. Like, if you don't win it within the next 2 years, your window is probably done.
Yeah, they have not had success when it comes to the big games that they really, really need to win, you know. Some of it's due to injury, some of it's due to bad play calling, bad coaching,
bad
throwing. So I mean, we'll see. But more than likely, I don't know about you, but I don't see San Francisco going back to the Super Bowl anytime soon right now.
I don't think so either.
You know, I don't even have them. I personally don't have them winning the division this year. I think Seattle's going to win it.
Right. No, I mean, that's fair. Because I mean, Seattle revamped their defense. They got a top 5 corner with Weatherspoon. I'm pretty sure they signed Bobby Wagner back, so they still got
Woolen over there as well. He turned out to be a really good corner.
Yeah, well, I thought he was a safety, but I guess he's a corner. I'm not sure what
corner,
he is.
Safety, DB.
He's a DB, yeah, exactly. The D line kind of got worked on a little bit. So I mean, they drafted JSN to tag along with Lockett and DK, and then you still got a 2-headed monster with.
Bro, they have one of the craziest offensive wide receiving cores in the league, and nobody's talking about them. But I mean, nobody is talking about them, and I don't understand why.
You got DK, you got JSN, you got Tyler Lockett, and then on top of that, you got Walker and Zach Charbonnet. So I mean, the offense is pretty straight, I think.
I think so too. See, you say that, and there's no chance, but there is a chance. They fought them tough last year. It's not like Seattle just got mollywopped. Geno Smith completed 70% of his passes, 35 touchdowns, second most in the NFC. The only thing that was the problem was their defense. That's it. And then on top of that, nobody had tape on Brock Purdy. Nobody knew what kind of guy he was going to be like or what kind of offense they were going to run with him. Yes, they had Kyle Shanahan's offensive scheme, but to sit there and say that there's no chance? No, I'm not going to go there. I'm not gonna say there's no chance.
I mean,
especially with all that you got going on. You got.
Well, yeah, their offenses will be kind of hard to stop because they got all that damn talent around them.
Yeah, it's because they got the talent, exactly. But what happens if CMC goes down? What happens if Debo goes down? George Kittle's already dealing with an injury.
What about Purdy?
And Purdy got hurt last year at the end of the year. What happens if he gets hurt again? You got Sam Darnold backing him up. He's unproven.
I was going to say, Darnold might be enough to keep him afloat, but if they get to the playoffs, that's a wrap. I'm
not saying they're going to miss the playoffs. I just don't think they're going to win the division. I think Seattle this year is going to go up. I think Geno throws for over 4,500 yards and 40 touchdowns. I'm telling you, they are going to be slinging that ball all over the field.
I mean, they got the weapons for it now.
Yeah, and then you got a solid run game with Kenneth Walker.
Because really, once you think about it, they got a wide receiver core that can run all 3 levels. You got JSN that can run the deep route. You can have DK run the shallow routes or the middle routes, and then you have JSN run the shallow routes.
Yeah, Tyler Lockett can go deep. He can work in the slot. Like one of the best offense. They got one of the best receiving cores in the league. Better than better than San Francisco. Their receiving core is better than San Francisco's receiving core.
If I'm the OC in Seattle right now, I'd have a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, big time.
Like that would be a fun offense to work with.
Oh yeah, hands down it would be. No, that's not even a question. But yeah, man. So I mean, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But I just San Francisco dealing with this salary cap issue, especially after this season. Uh, I don't know. I don't know what San Francisco's going to do. We'll see though. We'll see
Yeah.
how it goes. But all right, time for my favorite part of every show that we do. This is the time when we pick the games of the week and we go through, we pick, we understand why, we talk about who we're going to pick, talk about what we're going to do. And yeah, expect to get your ass kicked again this year, sir.
So what game we starting off with?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because guess who we're talking about? San
Uh,
Francisco 49ers at Pittsburgh Steelers. The 49ers are actually a 2.5 point favorite. Over unders 41.5. Who you like in this one?
I'm going the Niners. Simply because I think that defense is going to be too much for Kenny Pickett and company.
Now, see, I sort of agree with you, only because of the simple fact that like with their front seven. But
Right.
I mean, San Francisco does not have great corners.
No, they don't. But I mean, then again, you don't really need great corners when you have like a scary ass front seven with the D line and the linebackers. And it's gonna be kind of hard to run when fucking Fred Warner can run sideline to sideline.
Yeah, and Nick Bosa back too.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's gonna be big.
Yeah, and he just got paid, and it's week one. Oh yeah, Bosa might have 5 sacks.
Yeah, but I will say this: he didn't play any in the preseason. He's not going to be in game shape. I don't think it'll take long for him to get back in game shape.
Oh no.
But he will not be in game shape. I will say that.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I'm taking San Fran in this game.
This is where me and you merge differently. I actually like Pittsburgh in this matchup. I'll tell you right now, Pittsburgh has something brewing over there.
Yeah.
They really do. I think Kenny Pickett makes a leap this year as far as like what he can do as a quarterback. You still got Najee. George Pickens is a great wide receiver. Deontay Johnson is a great compliment, although he needs to find the end zone this year.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, Pittsburgh defense isn't nothing to slouch at either.
That's true.
I mean, T.J. Watt, Mika Fitzpatrick, like they got guys over there.
Porter.
Joey Porter Jr., like yeah, they got guys over there. Yep. They're not scrubs on that defensive end.
Right.
On that defensive side. So it should be a close one. I think a very low scoring game. They said over. If I'm a betting man, I would personally take Pittsburgh plus 2.5. Maybe make it 3 if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they are turning average DBs into great ones. I do agree with that. I don't disagree with that. That was the same recipe the Giants used in their Super Bowl years. You know, I mean Corey Webster was a decent guy, but he wasn't like amazing. You know, but you know that front seven, especially that front four, made them look that way. But I think the biggest X factor in that game is Deontay Johnson. There's nobody on that field that can cover him.
I think it's going to end up being him and number 19, which I think is Calvin Austin. The motherfucker's fast, bro. Like I don't know if you watched him in preseason, but he's quick.
No, I didn't really see Pittsburgh preseason.
He's quick. From the games that I like a little bit I've seen like in Pittsburgh during preseason, like you said, Pittsburgh's got something going on over there.
Well, all right. So yeah, if I'm betting, I would take Pittsburgh. I would probably make the alternate spread 3 and go Pittsburgh plus 3 with in under 41. I don't think this is going to be a high scoring game whatsoever.
Right.
All right. On to the next. We got Carolina going into Atlanta to face the Falcons. Falcons are a 3.5 point favorite. Over under 39.5. We don't really need to spend time a lot on this. Mainly because we're not going to talk about Carolina and Atlanta a lot. Sorry, fans, if you're fans of those, unless they start, putting some wins together.
Right.
Especially because they're in a division where if they start putting wins together, they could be leading the division.
Right. Who do you have winning this game?
I actually like Atlanta.
So do I, because Atlanta they were in cap hell for a little bit, and then they finally were able to get out of it and spent so much money to revamp their defense. They have the safety coming over from I think from Cincinnati, I believe. And they shored up the D line a little bit. On top of that, is it Arthur Smith who's the head coach? Is that his name?
No, I thought Arthur Smith was the owner.
Or maybe not. Who's the head coach for Atlanta?
I have no idea who the head coach at Carolina or Atlanta is right now.
Frank Wright is the head coach for Carolina.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Frank Wright is the head coach of Carolina.
Whoever the head coach is for Atlanta, they like to run the ball. And we saw that last year with Algier, hitting the.
I mean, you drafted Bijan Robinson in the top 10.
And that's what I'm getting at too. So look for him to possibly hit maybe 100 yards because they like to run the ball. And we've seen, I don't know if you've seen him, but I've seen him in the preseason. Bijan looks fucking nice, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I saw highlights of him.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. As long as if barring any injury, like bad injuries, maybe like a tweaked ankle, if he has a tweaked ankle or whatever, cool, whatever, he can get through that. But if he doesn't, as long as he doesn't tear anything, oh yeah, dude's gonna be
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, especially on Carolina on the road with a.
I can see that. I can see him getting 2 touchdowns.
I could definitely see him getting 2 touchdowns. But I will say this: that defense for Carolina is fast. They have a very fast sideline to sideline defense. So he's going to have to create some space in the middle, I think. But if he does that, he'll definitely get some lanes.
Yeah.
If I'm betting, I'd probably go Atlanta minus 3.5. Maybe under 39.5. That's a tough one. When it gets under 40 for points, it's very hard to really pick that one right correctly.
But then again, you probably could get away with it because it is a rookie quarterback starting with a second-year quarterback starting, who they don't really know if he's going to be a quarterback in the future. Okay, so Arthur Smith is the coach. Arthur Blank is the owner.
Okay, I had it backwards. All right.
Yeah, we were on the right page a little bit.
They're both named Arthur.
Yeah. They both
credit for that one. Both named Arthur. But yeah. So if I had to take one, I'd still say under. I just don't. These offenses are not great. The defense on Carolina is decent. The offense on Atlanta is okay, I guess. I'm just trying to give credit where credit's due. They're in the NFL. That's where the credit comes from. You're in the NFL.
Carolina does have J.C. Horn. He's not a bad cornerback either.
Watch out for Adam Thielen, though. I do expect Adam Thielen to have a decent game. So if you have him on your fantasy and you're in a deeper league, I'd probably put him in your flex option somewhere. I think this is a good game to put him up against.
You could probably get away with playing Hayden Hurst too. Like that's exactly what we're doing. You might be able to get away with that.
I think the biggest thing for him is he didn't really have a lot of targets when he was in, Cincinnati. But the only other person that's a really good pass catcher at Carolina besides him is Adam Thielen. So he should get a lot more share of the targets now.
Yeah, because if you look at his offense, when he was back with Cincinnati, he had Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, and then Hurst. But now you're looking at him basically jumping 2 spots with now Thielen as a number 1.
Yeah.
Well, him, Jonathan Mingo, and then Hayden Hurst.
We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I would go Atlanta minus 3.5 and take the under 39. So On to the next game. Houston Texans are going into Baltimore to face the Ravens. Ravens are a 10-point favorite week one. Over unders 43.5. I mean, I normally don't like taking minus by double digits, but I don't. Houston's not going to be competitive just yet.
If it isn't Russell Wilson himself.
Miles Sanders, what's up, David? Miles Sanders is actually a good draft pick. The only thing I worry about with him is he going to be able to stay upright? He's already dealing with injuries, you know. Now he's going to play week one, but he's already dealing with an injury, so that kind of I just But as a good low pick, like you can probably get him in the mid to late rounds because people just don't look for him because Carolina's offense isn't going to be great.
Yeah. They still need some more like weapons and shit.
Definitely. But all right, so yeah, I don't really care to take double digit. Normally I would stay away from a game like this unless you're doing straight money line. I would money line the Ravens all day. The Ravens are going to win this game.
Oh yeah.
And now, if you want to do the over under is 43.5.
But do keep in mind, Mark Andrews may not play with the quad injury. Right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So, like, if you get in right now before and he doesn't play and you go under 43.5, I think that's a good bet.
And for people in fantasy, if you do have Mark Andrews, it would probably, and if he doesn't play, or you're not sure, go pick up Isaiah Likely. That's his backup, and he's pretty decent from what he got to play last year.
Yeah, and Lamar loves his safety blankets.
Yeah. On top of that, he is a big target too. So.
Yeah. I mean, he's not Mark Andrews, but I mean,
he's still
a good player.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'm taking Baltimore on this one. I already plan on taking Baltimore. Like I said in the previous show, look for Odell, possibly Zay Flowers to get involved heavily now, especially if Mark Andrews isn't playing. So if you got them, you can throw him in the flex.
Yeah, and it's not that I don't think the points are going to not get scored in this game. I don't want y'all to think that I think that the Ravens are going to be a bad offense. I don't think Houston's going to score a lot, because they still don't have pass catchers over there that really scare me. I mean, Nico Collins is their best wide receiver in my opinion.
Nico is the number one. I checked the depth chart. Nico's the number one. Robert Woods is 2. Mechie, I think, is 3.
Yeah, and then you got all that around a line that's okay, not great, but it's okay, it's good.
And you got Dameon Pierce, who's
yeah, you got Dameon Pierce. I do like Dameon Pierce, but I mean, then you got a rookie quarterback, and then on top of that, it's a rookie quarterback, and I hate that I say this because I'm an Ohio State fan, but it's a rookie quarterback from Ohio State. So we've seen the pedigree of how they do.
Yeah, we all know Ohio State's track record with quarterbacks in the pros.
Yeah. So I mean, but we'll see. Yeah. So you like Baltimore in this one now?
I do like Baltimore in this one.
All right. Moving along. I hope my boy Gino's still in the chat. We got Cincinnati going into Cleveland. All right. Now this is a close one. This is basically a pick'em game. Cincinnati is a 1.5 point favorite. That's like a pick who you think is going to win type game.
Right.
But they're still a little bit favored. Over under 47.5. And do you think that 47.5 is a little low? You think it should be like 49, maybe 50?
Maybe you could probably get away with 50. Because I mean, I don't know how Cleveland's offense is going to look right now. I mean, you still got Watson trying to shake off the rust. Nick Chubb is the only base type real back they have. Amari Cooper is really the only number 1 they have.
Yeah, you're right.
But the defense isn't no slouch either. Like, Myles Garrett is probably going to abuse one of them. Myles Garrett is probably going to abuse one of those tackles. Which one is it?
No, I mean, he's Myles Garrett. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's probably going to.
He would abuse most people.
He might just take the helmet off and deflate the head. So.
Oh my gosh, bro. It was crazy. I was watching a video the other day, and that came up in the video, and they showed it, and I was just like, bro, if he just has the helmet turn the opposite way, and it's with like the crown of the helmet instead of like the bottom of the butt, and it's like, oh, that could have done some real damage.
Oh yeah, and then every time I see that, I watch which Pouncy brother? I don't remember which Pouncy brother it is.
Oh, he starts like punching him.
Bro, he's like swinging on him, and like he gets up and he straight stomps on his head and everything. I'm like, yo, bro's really with that. Like he was.
No,
Really
no, I just think it's funny. Like I always say, because you watch these guys get in fights and everything, and they start punching each other in the helmet, and you're like, why are you punching their helmet? That's
stupid. Right. Best fight though. Best fight? What happened?
Andre Johnson, Cortland Finnegan. Like that's an easy one.
Yeah, easy, because that's when the helmets actually came off and they were throwing.
Yeah, they were throwing hands, and Andre Johnson whipped that dude's ass. But I mean, how am I gonna go against Cincinnati? They're my Super Bowl pick this year. So I mean, I can't go against Cincinnati. Even if I'm a betting man, I would take them. I'd probably just take a money line. Fuck the points. You probably get better odds with the points if you really want to do that, but that's up to you. So you could probably choose that spread, but over under 47.5. I honestly think it's going to go over. I mean, yeah, you got Denzel Ward, and he'll lock up a little bit, but like, who else is going to cover T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd? You got Joe Mixon. Cincinnati's revamped their line just a touch, make it a little bit better. So I mean, and Watson still has to show me that he could do something again. Like, where's that like 2017, 2018, 2019 Watson at, bro? That's what I need.
Under a masseuse.
That's yo. You down bad for that one.
I mean, but you're
right. No, you're right.
I mean, but no, like he did only have like 12 games to play last year. So I mean, he is kind of rusted for right there. But I mean,
yeah, I do agree with that.
He does but now he does have a full off season, with the program, having chemistry with Chubb, Amari Cooper, the rookies, this, that, and the fourth. So he does have something to prove this year.
Yeah, he definitely has something to prove this year. Definitely, he has to prove this year. Well, who you like in this one though?
I'm taking Cincinnati.
So what you're saying is that you're on a Cincinnati.
On Cincinnati.
On Cincinnati. On a Cincinnati. On a Cincinnati. Yeah, you got to go Cincinnati right here.
Yeah, I don't know about winning the division.
Bro, you almost made me choke. Cleveland's might win the division against Baltimore and the Cincinnati? Nah, bro, miss me with that. Ain't no fucking way.
Yeah, there's a chance they could sweep Pittsburgh, but I think they're going to split with Cincinnati and Baltimore.
I don't even think they split with Baltimore. I think Baltimore whips their ass both times.
Damn. They may get away with one of them with Cincinnati because apparently they have Cincinnati's number at least once.
Bro, I'm telling you, like, the only team I'm scared of two teams in the AFC this year. I'm scared of the Ravens and I'm scared of the Chiefs when they're healthy and at full strength. That's the only two teams I'm scared. Now, don't get me wrong. There are AFC teams that are very talented, very good, way better than the NFC. But what teams that scare me? You know what I'm saying? You don't think Baltimore's going to be good this year? Man, as long as Lamar Jackson can stay healthy and the receivers can stay healthy. I mean, Bateman went down last year. Who was the other wide receiver that went down last year?
It was other little quick dudes.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I don't.
But they had two guys go down last year. Mark Andrews missed time last year. J.K. Dobbins has been dealing with injury. Lamar Jackson has missed games. Gus Edwards, their backup running back, has missed games. Like, they cannot stay healthy out there. If they can stay healthy, especially with Odell coming in, if he can provide some type of production on the outside, that opens the door for so much because Lamar Jackson's never had a pass catcher outside of Mark Andrews.
I mean, Zay will be one of them. You got Odell still. I mean, I do like Zay. You can actually
Rashad Bateman's back. I do like Bateman when he's healthy, but the motherfucker's been hurt.
Yeah. I do like Zay. I was high on Zay Flowers.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were. I like what's his name out of TCU. I like that Quinton Johnson kid.
Yeah, injuries will probably fuck them over because
I agree. It's done it every like the last 3 years.
It's always the defense, like mainly defense too. Like you had Marlon Humphreys go down. Who else was it? Who else did they lose? Oh, well, speaking of defense, they did sign Jadeveon Clowney too.
And now they do got Roquan Smith over there as well. So that's he is good. That motherfucker's good. Their defense is gonna be stout, and that's what I'm saying. They're gonna have a stout defense. If it's a healthy offense, it's a productive offense, in my opinion. And you got one of the best head coaches in the league, John Harbaugh.
Yeah.
And probably the best kicker.
The best kicker in the league, yeah. On top of that, I think what could really bite him in the ass is the new offensive coordinator.
That's true. That is true.
That could be something that will bite them in the ass. Injuries and a new OC.
Yeah, but you like Cincinnati, that one?
I do.
All right, let's get back to these picks. We got Tampa Bay going into Minnesota to face the Vikings. Vikings are a 5.5 point favorite. Over under's 46. I'm gonna be honest. I like Minnesota minus 5.5. I really do, and I would take I'd probably take the over 46 in this game.
Who are you taking to win?
Oh, Minnesota.
Okay.
Minnesota minus 5.5.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna take Minnesota too, but I wanted to ask you something.
What's up?
Do you think this could be Baker's break or make year?
Oh, it easily is.
Because now you have two solid wide receivers with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I think you have a second-year tight end and Cade Otton. Apparently, the running back Roshan, right? Is that his name? I don't remember what his name is. The running back for Tampa. Apparently, he's pretty good. And then you actually have a solid defense.
Oh, Rashad White? Yeah, Rashad White's pretty good. He's not a bad running back.
And then you have a solid defense. Now, the corners might be a little iffy, but, the defense can keep you in the game a little bit. So my thing is, could Baker revive his career playing with Tampa?
He could. I mean, he's got talent all around him. It's not that he doesn't have talent around him.
He has a lot of talent. He has Mike Evans, who's had 1,000 yards receiving in what?
Every quarterback he's been with.
I'm talking about every season.
Yeah.
And then you have Chris Godwin, who's a very good slot receiver. So I mean, he's got the playmakers. Then he better than he had when he was with the Rams and when he was with Cleveland. Because I mean, I don't even think he had Amari Cooper when he was with Cleveland. No, because he had Odell and Jarvis.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it should be interesting. I mean, we'll see how their defense plays out. They also in a weak division. So if Baker can play well, Saints look out. Y'all are gonna be in trouble. I'm not gonna lie. I think y'all are a better team than them, but if Baker does play well, y'all are gonna be in trouble for that division. That's gonna be the problem. Because there's only gonna be one person coming out of that division, and it's gonna be the division winner. Yeah. So if you don't win that division, you're probably not gonna go to the playoffs. Yep. But yeah, I mean, I like Minnesota in this one. I like them minus 5.5. And I also like the over 46. I do like the over in that one.
So you think so?
I mean, yeah, Minnesota's defense isn't that great. Yeah. I mean, from at least what we've seen last year, unless they make a huge leap in 1 year, But and then Tampa Bay's like right in the middle, So they have talent. I just don't like their scheme.
Speaking of Minnesota's defense, do you think they could give up the game to Tampa Bay?
I mean, yeah, it's Minnesota. I
I mean,
mean, we've seen Minnesota give up games all the time.
what time they playing?
And it was 12 o'clock. That's why I'm taking Minnesota, and I'm taking the over.
That's what I was getting at. I was like, because if it's at 3 o'clock,
Kirk Cousins turns into Superman at 12, bro. He turns into Clark Kent at 3.
I mean, you're not wrong. He had everybody knows he just disappears on prime time.
That too. Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Well, who's next?
We got probably the worst game of the week, in my opinion. We got Arizona Cardinals going into Washington to face the Commanders. Washington are a 7-point favorite. Over under for this game's 38.5. That's just downright disrespectful. But I'm still gonna take the under because Arizona has no offense. They have nobody. There's no good quarterback. The line's not good. Their best pass catcher is Marquise Brown, and he's what, maybe a top 25 wide receiver in the league. Top 20, if and that's being generous. Who else you got? Your defense is, you lost J.J. Watt. Chandler Jones is now gone.
Justin is gone.
Yeah, and all you got left over there really, Patrick Peterson gone. All you got left over there is Buda Baker.
Really?
Yeah, so, and I wouldn't doubt it if he's trying to get out of there.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
I think he asked for a trade.
Yeah, so, I mean, Arizona's blown it completely up, and they're starting from scratch again. So, tank for Caleb Williams, baby. But then again, he might go back to school if he doesn't like the situation.
I was just about to talk to you about that because I saw that. I'm like, so even if Arizona does get the number one, there's a very good chance that he goes back to school for the following year.
Yeah.
Imagine tanking for the number one player and not getting him.
Yeah. 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 I mean, you could still probably go get Marvin Harrison Jr. if you want.
They could really get both of them.
Yeah, you could. You could get Marvin Harrison Jr. and then next year, the following year, tank again. Be like, you need the draft picks. You're not gonna get no free agents over there in that time frame. So you might as well blow it up. Tank 2-3 years in a row. Trust the process. Philadelphia 76ers did it. So, I mean, yeah, but I mean, obviously, we're going to take the Commanders. We're going to take the Commanders minus 7.5. And I'm going to take the under 38.5 because I don't think Arizona's going to score a point. They might get 3 or they might get 6 because of 2 field goals, but then they're not going to score.
Yeah, I don't see this being very high at all.
No, no. Washington's front seven is pretty good, and then they added some. They added a guy. What corner did they draft? Man, they drafted a corner in the first round. Washington.
Mayor Forbes.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's who it was. You might be correct. Yeah. So they added to the back end more. Now their offensive line still isn't that great, but with the lack of pass rushing that the Cardinals have, Sam Howell's going to have all day to throw the ball. And if Sam Howell's going to have all day to throw the ball, he's going to look like Tom Brady. So, if you're hurting for quarterbacks, I don't know if you in a league or not, but I think that's a really good matchup. Is Sam Howell? I think he's going to surprise a lot of people against Arizona, not for the season, just against Arizona.
Yeah, because Arizona is just boo boo right now.
Yeah, very very bad.
Yeah, they are.
But next we got our home team here in down in Louisiana. We got the Tennessee Titans coming into town to face the New Orleans Saints. Saints are a three point favorite. Over under 41.5. I like the Saints in this one. I'm not high on Tennessee this year. I their offense may be decent, but I don't think their defense is going to be that great.
I'm gonna go with the Saints on this one, but I heard this today. The Saints have never played Derrick Henry.
Okay, that's a little bit of a big deal.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. And then off the defensive line, I mean, the only real vet they have is Cam Jordan, in my opinion, on the D line at least.
Well, on the D line, but they still got Demario Davis at linebacker. You still got
Yeah,
Marshawn Lattimore, who needs to step it up this year.
yeah.
Uh,
But I'm talking more about like in the run game that's gonna be able to keep Derrick Henry contained because like I don't see Marshawn Lattimore coming over and tackling him. It may happen. Don't get me wrong, it may happen, but I very well could see a stiff arm getting thrown in his face.
yeah, I think the Saints are going to look to get Michael Thomas more involved early. And if you get him and Olave out there, that's a tough combo to face, bro.
Yeah, I don't think.
That's a very tough combo to face.
Yeah, I don't think Tennessee has anybody to be able to cover them too. On top of Jamal Williams coming in, and then
That's a big deal.
You still got Jimmy Graham, you got Taysom, you got Juwan Johnson, you got three solid tight ends.
Yeah, very very solid tight ends.
That offense isn't any slouch.
Yeah, and I think Derek Carr is going to make that offense look a lot better this year compared to what it was last year.
We're saying the offense isn't any slouch right now, but from what we've seen at the practice and everything, but in game time, it could be a totally different story now.
Oh well, yeah, definitely. I mean, but I just compared to what I saw them doing last year, that's why I say that I think they're going to be better than what they have looked like previously. So, but yeah, the over under in this one's 41.5. I kind of like the under. I kind of like under 41.5. I think with week one, especially they're going to try to run. Both teams are going to try to run the ball, get their offenses, kind of like going and getting a rhythm and get in sync. I don't think either of these teams are going to come out just slinging it down the field.
No, I think Lattimore is going to end up.
Yeah, and now if Sean Payton was still the coach, I might take the over because of the way that he play calls. But being that he's not the coach over there and Dennis Allen is, I think they're going to run the ball more. Saints are going to be explosive. I think Jamal Williams.
I agree with that.
Yeah, no. We saw it. We saw them both at practice when they were practicing in training camp, and they both looked very solid.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I think that's going to be a top 5 running back duo in the league, maybe top 3.
Yeah, because then you'll have Kamara, you'll have Jamal Williams, and then you still got Kendrick Miller, the rookie, he's hurt right now, but still, from what we saw at practice, it's gonna be they got a good running back, a good running back room.
Yeah. No. But all right. Moving on. We have our last 12 o'clock game.
Practice, I would agree with that.
Big year for Olave. I'm gonna be honest with you. Big year for Michael Thomas if he comes back and plays 17 games. That's what I'm talking about.
If he comes back,
this dude's been out with a freaking foot injury for the last 2-3 years.
3.
Exactly.
He's played 10 games in 3 years.
That's fucking terrible. 3 games in 10 games in 3 years is atrocious. That's terrible. And I'm not trying to I feel bad because the guy gets hurt and he's like one of the best talents. I mean, he's an Ohio State product. I love the guy. But I feel bad. It just sucks. Dude, you can't stay. Your foot can't stay healthy. They diagnosed you with turf toe at first, and then turns out it wasn't turf toe. It was actually a broken toe, and it never healed properly. Now you got to sit out the next 2 seasons because of it. Jesus Christ!
Honestly, I'm surprised they kept him around so long.
I'm not surprised. The dude broke the freaking reception record for a season. I wouldn't get rid of his ass either.
I get that. But at the time, he wasn't playing in 3 years, and then he's getting all that money and everything.
I feel you, bro. But I guarantee you, the moment they let him go and he gets healthy, he's gonna go fucking crazy, and then they're gonna look stupid, and that's what they're scared of. That's why they won't let him go.
Yeah.
They don't want it to make it look like a bad move. because then the whole city's going to be pissed off that they let go of Michael Thomas.
Oh yeah. Does anybody know what his contract is? I think it's a 1 year deal. If y'all know what what his contract is, put it in the comment for us real quick. But I think it is a 1 year deal. So it's going to be interesting if it is 1 year deal. The offers he gets, bro, if he stays healthy, might be worth him leaving. Because who's to say Kansas City don't fucking call him and offer him like a 4 year deal?
I mean, it's possible. It's highly possible.
At that point, money and a ring, stability on a team. So I mean,
same concept with Zion. You're totally right. Zion's hurt he's so good. I'm a Duke fan. Ask Jared. I'm a Duke fan. I've been a fan since John Scyther played for him, who's the coach now.
Hey, speaking of that, how hype were you when they beat Clemson?
Oh, well, I'm an Ohio State football fan. You know that. I grew up in Cleveland.
It's just Duke basketball.
Yeah, Duke basketball, baby, all day. And lacrosse, Duke lacrosse as well.
Oh, word.
Yeah, Duke lacrosse is really good.
Word, I didn't know you was in it with lacrosse.
Well, you know me, bro. For those who don't know, I never really had like a hometown. You know what I mean? Like I was born in Virginia, and then I moved to Guam. Then I lived in Cleveland, Ohio. Then I lived in Key West, Florida. Then I lived in Slidell, Louisiana. Like I've moved around a lot. I've been around a lot. I never really had a home team, so I had to pick teams that I liked. Pick teams that, and there's a lot of blue because I picked them when I was young, and my favorite color was blue. That's one of the reasons why I became a Giants fan. Like, and now I'm diehard on all my teams. Like I don't ban the team bandwagon shit. I don't do that. I don't. I'll claim who my favorite teams are, whether they win the championship or not. So, but yeah, I'm a Duke fan. Love Zion. I've seen Zion play live multiple times. The dude is phenomenal, out of this world athletic, but he can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
And he's missed 50 plus games, 60 plus games in the last 2-3 seasons. So yeah, but that's
I remember Zion's debut, bro.
Yeah, and then on top of that, like they don't want to let him go because if they let go of him and he somehow gets healthy and shapes up, they're gonna look stupid.
God forbid he gets let go and the Lakers take a shot at him.
Exactly. Like the LeBron retires, they let him go and then they go pick up Zion. And then for some reason he goes out to LA and he slims down, gets healthy. I mean, that's a big hypothetical. I don't think that'll happen because he just can't seem to do that.
Right.
But all right, let's get back to these picks. We got one more 12 o'clock game. The Jacksonville Jaguars go into Indianapolis, face the Colts. 4.5-point favorite, go to Jags way. Over under in this game is 46.5. That's actually pretty high. I'm going to take the under in this one, and I'm also taking Jacksonville minus 4.5. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like Anthony Richardson, especially after that combine. I've been shouting from the rooftop that he was going to go to Indianapolis since the combine, and then it happened. One day we'll post the reaction video to it. It was hilarious. Yeah, I was dead excited for him to go there. I really was. But he's not ready yet. And I'm glad that he's, getting more. Apparently, he was on an off day. He went to the facility, worked 8 hours there, got some more film, and did some study. Work ethic is impeccable. The man's character is unquestionably great. But he's not ready to be a franchise quarterback yet. And that's why I'm not going to take a lot of Indianapolis games this year unless it's against other teams that, maybe Tennessee if they get lucky, maybe the Texans, I might take them against them. Be a duel of rookie quarterbacks. But even then, I still like the Texans team more than I like, especially with Jonathan Taylor not playing. If he's not playing, then I'm definitely going Houston. But regardless of that, right now I'm going Jacksonville minus 4.5, and I'm taking the under 46. Jacksonville's going to score a solid 31 points, but I don't see Indianapolis scoring more than 10, maybe 13 points.
No, that's fair. No, I'm going Jacksonville too, strictly because I like what's going on down there, mainly with Trevor Lawrence. I've been keeping my eye on Trevor Lawrence since he was on Trent Dilfer. I think it's Trent Dilfer's 11 on 11s. I think it was.
I saw him when he did I saw him when he was still like on overtime when he was doing still in high school
Yeah,
and
no, that's what I'm talking about.
I saw him back then too, and we talked about him back then.
No, like I remember, I think it was him and Justin Fields in that same class, and then ever since then, I just been watching him. And then he committed to Clemson right after Deshaun Watson left, and
Yep.
then he comes in and doesn't lose a fucking game until the championship against LSU. I mean, fuck, if you're gonna lose your first game, you might as well just lose it to the best team in college football, you know. So, but I mean, I'm on board with Trevor Lawrence. I like how they got Ridley. You got Evan Ingram. Who's the other players? They got Zay Jones, and then ETN. I mean, their offense is pretty nice. So
Offense is solid. So,
yeah,
especially on paper though. On paper, and don't get me wrong, I don't know if you saw this video or not, but there was a video of Zay Jones running a route in practice. Zay Jones runs like a 4.5, 4.4, something like that.
right.
Was a good route. And then Calvin Ridley went after him and just completely destroyed what he just did. It was the
Yeah,
same route, but it was so much more explosive, so much faster. The cuts were on a dime, and man, he's gonna come back with a vengeance. I think he has I think him and Christian Kirk both have 1,000-yard seasons this year. It just depends on who's gonna get more touchdowns.
there was a talk on one of the shows. I think it was a Locked On Peacock and Williams podcast. I don't know if you listen to that at all, but they said that could Trevor Lawrence be an MVP this year?
It's possible. It is possible, especially if the team does really well. It's definitely possible. But I mean, unless Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow, don't play well during the season, then that's the only way.
Right.
Or maybe Jalen Hurts might sneak in, depending on how good that Philly offense is. But I
Yeah.
mean, if Trevor Lawrence leads Jacksonville to a 13-4 record, and he's got close to 5,000 yards or 5,000 yards and 30, 40 touchdowns, yeah, he better win MVP.
I'll tell you what. Next game I want to look forward to watching is next week. Is Kansas City and then Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good game.
Yeah,
That's a good game.
Playoff rematch. So we'll find out if Trevor Lawrence can actually hang with them.
Okay. Well, since you're talking about playoff rematches, how about a Super Bowl rematch for Week 1? We got Philadelphia going into New England to face the Patriots. Philadelphia is a -4 favorite, and the over/under in this game is 45. I just want to break your spirit and see it in your eyes now, because we can finally do that. I'm going Philadelphia over New England here.
I mean,
Philadelphia, and I'm taking Philadelphia -4, and I'm probably going to take the over because they're going to score a lot of points.
well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's kind of given, but I mean, I'm gonna go with Philadelphia. Obviously, I mean, I hate to do it, but
Hate to do it.
But I mean, their defense is just their defense is gonna fuck over our offense. I can tell you that right now. But Belichick's had all offseason to plan for this game, So who's to say we can contain him a little bit to where Jalen Hurts doesn't, have a fucking field day on us, to where
it's possible it's Week 1. People are going to be rusty.
Yeah, no, exactly. Who's to say the game's not going to be a 20-17 score?
Yeah.
Because look at the past few years with New England's defense. We've had a top five defense every year. So who's to say we don't get that one turnover, that keeps us in the game. We may not win it, but to keep us within 3 to 7 points.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I just think it was gonna be a little bit too much for y'all. Y'all might lose by 7. I personally think it's gonna be somewhere along the lines of probably 38 to 14, something like that. 38-17.
It's gonna be interesting because I could care less if we lose this game,
Yeah.
Whatever. Because I already know what was coming. Philly's got a higher powered offense. The defense is fucking top 3. But what I'm looking for is how our offense looks under O'Brien.
Yeah. It will look better. I will say that. I think y'all's offense will look better under Bill O'Brien. Y'all had a fucking defense coordinator calling y'all's play calls last year. So I understand why. Y'all's offense will be better. Mac Jones will be better. If anybody picked up Juju Smith-Schuster, I wouldn't play him this week, but keep him on your bench and keep him around. He's going to have some big games because him and Mac Jones have a good chemistry already. And we've seen it in not only in the preseason, but in the training camp. So what do you? I'd never wear a Brady jersey, bro. I'm a Giants fan. I don't have to go through that. I don't care if he won one with Tampa Bay. I don't care how many he won with the Pats. We beat him twice in the Super Bowl. There's nothing you can say. I don't care what you say. What you say? Like nothing. I don't care. So moving on. We have the Raiders going into Denver to face the Broncos. Broncos are actually a 3.5-point favorite. Really surprised me there. And over under is 43.5. Do you really think the Raiders are that bad? After what we saw last year with the Broncos, do you think the Raiders are really that bad with Jimmy G over Derek Carr now?
I think they're about the same. I think there may not, it may not be like even, but I think they're kind of like the same and everything. But Jimmy's gonna actually have to throw the fucking ball, dude. Like he can't have like these overthrows like he's been having. He's got to get Devontae Adams the ball, whether he's getting guarded by Surtain or not. And then on top of that, they got to get Josh Jacobs going early. Like I'm talking like within the first 5 minutes of the game. Like if they
I mean, he led the league in rushing yards for a reason last year.
One game.
But Denver's defense is good.
That's
they're especially their secondary. Now I understand they got Devontae Adams, but Patrick Surtain is definitely a top 3 corner in the league in my opinion, maybe top 2. And I'm telling you right now, he's going to be matched up with Devontae Adams.
Oh yeah, but I heard on the radio too that Denver probably can take this game strictly on fatigue with the Raiders.
What you mean?
With like the altitude and everything.
Well, yeah, true. That is true. I definitely understand, especially with being week 1. I mean, I like Denver. I think Denver's going to shake back more. I've been cheering on Javonte Williams' name for fantasy for months now.
Did you hear this thing with Russell Wilson and Sean Payton with him telling him to stop kissing babies and shit?
Yeah, I did see that.
That's typical Sean Payton shit, and I love it. That shit is hilarious.
Sean Payton is a gift, bro. That just keeps on giving.
But I mean, everybody's saying like Russell Wilson's corny and shit. I mean, somebody's got to tell him to shut the fuck up.
Hey, I mean, he played bad last year, so I don't have nothing to say about the dude's personality. How he lives his life, I don't give a fuck. That doesn't bother me. We talk about football here. That's all I care about.
You know what he does? He lives his life unlimited because he's Mr. Unlimited.
You stupid, bro. I mean, I like Denver. I will say this though. You could take that plus 3.5 from the Raiders. I still think the Raiders might lose, but the only reason they could keep it close is because the Broncos have like no wide receivers right now. Jerry Jeudy's hurt. Tim Patrick's hurt. You got Cortland Sutton over there, and that's how it was last year. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but I anticipate Broncos winning. You could take the Raiders plus 3.5 on this one, but I'd still go Denver money line. Denver wins this game. And I'd probably take the under 43.5 in this one. Moving on, we got the Rams going into Seattle to face the Seahawks. Seahawks are favored minus 4.5. Over under is 45.5. And I'm gonna take Seattle. I'm gonna take them minus 4.5.
Yeah, and I'm probably very beginning.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna take the under. Wait, what did he say? What did he say? Yeah, that was at the beginning. Yeah, we talked about the game already. Uh, but yes, I mean Seattle. I'm probably gonna go Seattle -4.5 on that one, and then I'll probably take the under in this one. Only because there's still going to be some chemistry issues with Gino, especially in his new guy. I do think they get rolling. I think it's going to be somewhere around the lines of like 28, 27 to probably like 27 to 14. Um, Cooper Cup not being out there for the Rams is huge. I don't care what anybody says. That's gigantic.
That's like
And the man's been hurt for the last few seasons. He's hurt the week one this season. I've been shouting from the rooftops in fantasy. Do not draft this guy. He's going through an injury plague, and you have to stay away from him in fantasy. People don't want to listen to me. I understand if you think you got value, even if you picked him in the second round, but that's only because you're going to get 6, 7 games out the guy, maybe 10 if you're lucky. But I mean, I like Seattle and I like the under somewhere along the lines of like 27, like I said, like 27 to 14. I just don't see the Rams offense playing well. Like we talked about earlier, Seattle's defense upgraded, and I think Gino has a good day, and I think Kenneth Walker has a mediocre day.
I hope
So
he has a decent game because I think I'll have him in one of my starting lineups.
I do have him in one of my leagues as well, but I mean, I don't. With Aaron Donald back playing, it's gonna be you're gonna have to run the ball away from him.
Yeah.
So you do that, and you can do that successfully. He'll have a decent productive day.
I mean,
But who you like in this one though?
I'd run away from a dude that trains with knives, dude. I'd do that.
You like Seattle in this one?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna take Seattle on this one.
Yeah, I figured. All right, moving on. We got the Packers going into Chicago to face the Bears. Green Bay Chicago is a 1.5 point favorite. Once again, it's one of those like pick'em games. Over under is 41.5. I want your take on this one first. I want to hear who you have and what do you think? I mean, it's the oldest rivalry in football, but these teams aren't up to par from where we've seen them in previous years, especially Green Bay. So what do you think? Who do you think happens right here?
I'm gonna give you a surprise pick. I'm going with Chicago on this one.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they are technically favored. They are technically favored.
Before we hopped on, I seen that Christian Watson's not playing, and then Romeo Doubs is questionable.
Yeah.
So that's Jordan Love's two main targets right there.
Yeah.
But then you got Justin Fields who can run the ball, and now you got him a number one in DJ Moore. So that offense is probably a little bit better. I don't remember who the other wide receiver and who the running back is now, but it's gonna be. I think it'll be a different story for Chicago this week.
Yeah.
Not the rest of the season. This week.
This week, yeah. This week.
Because
yeah, I gotta agree with you, man. I was initially gonna pick the Packers before I heard about all the injuries happening. If the Packers were fully healthy, I would have gone Green Bay.
Now I'm not 100% sure if they're not going to play or not, but I do think Christian Watson's out, but I'm not 100% sure about Romeo Doubs.
Even with Romeo Doubs playing, I still if Christian Watson is out, I like Chicago. I don't expect this to be a high scoring game though. And the Packers defense is good. Let's get that out the way. The Packers defense is good. Jair Alexander is like I said earlier, is probably a top 3 cornerback, and he's probably 3 in my opinion. I think Patrick Surtain's better than him. I like Chicago and I like the under 41.5. I even like Chicago -1.5. I think they win by a field goal. Probably like 17 to 14.
They just can't double doink it.
Yeah, maybe I could see a game like this being like 20 to 7. You feel me? Like one of those type of games. So, especially with Packers having all the injuries and everything. So, I like the Bears though. All right, now this one I really wanted your opinion on first because this is a really close one. You got Miami going into Los Angeles to face the Chargers. All right. Chargers are a 3-point favorite. Over unders 50.5. I want to know who you got.
I think we'll go to Chargers strictly because I don't really care for Miami. Uh, two, we don't know how Tua's health is going to be. I think Jalen Waddle's still dealing with an injury. I think Devin Acne, I don't know how you say his last name, but he's hurt. I don't think he's playing. Um, not sold on Miami's defense. And then you got Kellen Moore coming over, who's offensive coordinator. You got Justin Herbert, who just got paid. You got Keenan Allen. You got Mike Williams, and now you have Quentin Johnson. On top of that, you have Austin Eckler, which Eckler can do almost fucking anything out the backfield. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. We just haven't seen him throw the ball yet. And if he can do that, he's a jack of all trades. So I'm going with the Chargers on this one, strictly because I think that offense is going to be a little bit too much for Miami to hold.
No, I feel you. I'm actually going to go with Miami on this one. I like Miami +3. And here's why. Yeah, you are right about the injuries. I won't disagree with you on that. But I think Jalen Waddle's supposed to be playing. Last I heard, you still got Tyreek Hill. Mostert is a great running back in the backfield.
Yeah.
Their offensive line is solid. You are right about Tua's health, but Tua's healthy going into the season.
Right.
So I'm looking at him fully healthy right now going into the season, and I'm looking at this offense, and I'm like, yo.
There's a chance.
There's definitely a chance for Herbert to be MVP this year. But it depends on, can his team stay healthy? Mike Williams was hurt last year. Keenan Allen was hurt last year. Their defense was broken down. I mean, Joey Bosa, Derwin James, J.C. Jackson, all of them were down. J.C. Jackson's hurt right now. So, J.C. Jackson's not supposed to be playing in this game, I don't think.
You got Asante Samuel Jr. too.
Yeah. So,
I don't think he's hurt, but you got him on the defense too.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not that I don't like the Chargers. I played the Chargers in Madden this year because they got a really good team. But, I mean, it's still not. I don't think it's there. They still are missing something. I don't know what it is quite yet, especially on the defensive side. I don't know what they need, but they need to stay healthy first and foremost. I just think Miami's offense is going to be able to keep up with them, and I think Miami gets the ball last and scores a winning touchdown. So I would probably take Miami +3, and that over under is 50.5. That's a tough one.
Now, do you think, depending on how the Chargers season goes, that the head coach is on the hot seat?
Probably. I mean, I give him a reprieve for last year because of the injuries, but probably. But man, if I had to take one, I'd probably take the over because these offenses are going to be really good, I think, and there's going to be a lot of points scored. So, yeah, I'd probably go Miami +3 over 50.5.
You think
What's that?
You think a shootout?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a shootout. I really do. All right, then we got our Sunday night football game. The Dallas Cowboys go into New York to face the Giants. Dallas is a 3.5-point favorite. Over under in that game is 45.5. I gotta go with the Giants here, bro. After the acquisitions from the offseason, and I think the stigma of us not being able to have beaten Dak yet. I think we're like 10-1 in our last 11 matchups, against the Cowboys, and we've lost 10 straight or 9 straight to Dak, something like that.
Right.
I think the stigma of that is going to be some bulletin board because they've been talking about it a lot. And we're at home. I think the acquisitions of our offense is going to be better. Now, the Dallas's defense is going to be good, but we have to force Dallas wins 34-14. Yeah, I highly doubt that, but we'll see. But I mean, and I think the thing is we have to force Dak into bad throws.
Yeah.
We have to get the pressure on him. Our offensive line is coming back into the year. We got a new center though, rookie center. He But he's good. He's a solid guy. He's going to start week 1. Evan Neal needs to take a jump up. We got Darren Waller now. Picked up Paris Campbell. I'm still not big on our wide receivers, but having a safety blanket like Darren Waller in the middle of the field is going to be huge for Daniel Jones, I think. And we got Barkley out the backfield, and he's a powerful weapon in any as soon as you give him the ball. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, we haven't beaten him yet. He's like I said, he's won like 9, and that's what I was saying. I think it's going to be bulletin board. I think this is something that has been since the schedule came out has been on the bulletin board that they have not beaten Dak yet.
That's shit. They got to do something.
And I think it's going to be a statement game, bro. I think it is. I really do. I don't think we crushed them, but I think it is going to be a statement game.
Right.
But I'd probably take I definitely take them either 3.5 plus 3.5 or money line, whichever one you want to go. Money line will get you better odds. Now the over under, I'd probably go the under 45. Mainly because I think the Giants defense is going to be better than what people are giving them credit for. We didn't give up a lot of points last year. I mean, outside of a few games, like against like the really good teams. But we are a real bend don't break defense. I think Isaiah Simmons coming over is going to be huge. I think Wink's going to have him in a way better position to be productive than what Arizona could do for him. You get Banks on the outside now, from coming in from Maryland. So you picked up some corner help. He's a real man-to-man type guy. He's a press corner, which is what Wink likes to run defensively. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it works out. It's going to be week 1, but we have to pull this one out this time. We cannot afford to lose another season opener to the Cowboys. We're like 9-1 in season openers against them. It's crazy.
You're 9-1 against the Cowboys
in season openers, yeah.
So y'all beating them 9 times?
No. I'm sorry. We're one. They're 1-9. Okay. No, they beat us 9 times. We've only beaten them once.
Okay, no, I get it. I get what you're saying now. Yeah, no. You may hate me for this one, but I think I'm gonna take Dallas on this one.
I figured you would.
Yeah, it's just I don't know how y'all secondary is to be real with you. I don't know how they're gonna keep up with CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks. Y'all did screw around and let I think what was it, Schultz. I think it was Schultz. Let's drop 2 touchdowns on y'all on Thanksgiving. And then you got Tony Pollard, who I guess he's a do-it-all back. I don't know if he is. We'll find out.
He's still isn't he coming off an injury though?
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure if he is or not.
I thought he got hurt.
Yeah, I don't remember if he got hurt or not, but I think that all that little firepower right there is gonna be a little bit too much for y'all secondary. Y'all may lose, but I don't think it'd be by a lot. I don't think it'd be like by 10 plus.
Yeah, I think it should be a good game, especially being a Sunday night football. The only problem is Daniel Jones hasn't been great in prime time, so I don't mind that, but we'll see. So
we got Monday Night Football.
Yep. Next we got Monday Night Football. We got the Bills going into New York to face the Jets. The Bills are a 2.5 point favorite. Over under is 45.5. I like the Bills. I know this is kind of like a whoever game. Whoever wins. But I like the Bills in this one. If I'm picking over under, I'd probably say under because of how good the Jets defense is. I think Buffalo's defense will be solid as well. I think the Jets still need to mesh what they're doing chemistry wise with offensively and how they're going to run Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall getting him back into the lineup. So I think there's going to be some work in progress to do in the first few weeks of the season for them, and then they'll get the ball rolling. But I don't think they do it week 1. I think Buffalo comes in, wins decently, probably by double digits, but no more than 13 points. Uh, no more than 2 touchdowns. So, but yeah, I still think that Buffalo wins convincingly.
I'm gonna go with the Jets on this one. One, fuck Buffalo. Uh, Two, I think Sauce is gonna lock up Diggs, and
Hmm.
Josh is not gonna have anybody else to throw to because he's got to run the ball. I mean, he could throw it to Gabe, he could throw it to Dawson Knox, he could throw it to Kincaid. But I mean, if he can't throw the ball to Diggs, like you know,
And it is a tough week one matchup for Diggs. I'm not gonna lie.
that's what I'm saying. Like if Diggs, because plus there's already drama between out there with Diggs, and apparently he don't want to be there. This, that, and fourth. I don't fucking know. But yeah, if Diggs gets at least 10 targets and he can only catch like 3 of them, that's a wrap.
No, I feel what you're saying.
Because then you're basically making the Bills one dimensional because he can't throw it to his number one. He's
Yeah,
got to revert to Dave, and he's got to revert to Gabe Davis, the 2 tight ends. He got to revert to James Cook in the backfield or him running the ball, and that's just going to lead to him getting beat up. And then if you look on the other side, Aaron Rodgers is a 2-time MVP for a reason. On top of that, I don't know who's going to be able to guard Garrett Wilson. And then if somebody is guarding Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers already got that chemistry with Lazard and Cobb. So that's easy pickings right there.
don't they still have Trey White over there?
Yeah, well that's just one cornerback. That's what I'm saying. Like if Trey's guarding uh, Garrett Wilson, who's covering Lazard, Randall Cobb? Um,
Oh well, hold on. Let's not act like Lazard is some great
no,
run wide receiver. Let's
oh,
not
oh,
act like
yeah.
Randall Cobb isn't on the back end of his career,
Oh no, I'm
like
not saying
and way past his prime. Like
no,
let's not go there.
no. I'm not. I'm saying like they already got that chemistry coming from Green Bay with him.
I
That's
mean,
what.
chemistry wise, I don't disagree.
Right.
But he still Lazard still has to create separation.
Yeah. But then also you still got James Cook, not James Cook. You got Dalvin Cook. As long as he don't get hurt, he's solid. And then you got Brees Hall, who's coming back from injury, but
You got to work him back into the lineup somehow.
right. But the weakness is going to be for the Jets is that offensive line.
Yeah, the good thing for Buffalo, I mean for the Jets right now, is that Buffalo doesn't have Von Miller, and Von Miller being out right now is a big problem. They're gonna miss his sack production, and even just using him as a decoy on the line, you know, it'll definitely help out. But I mean, we'll see how it goes. I like Buffalo mainly because I just don't think that the full offense of the Jets is going to gel well together. The defense will be the defense. I don't expect this to be a high scoring game by any stretch of the means. That's why I'm going with the under. But I still like Buffalo plus 2.5. They probably win by a field goal, maybe 4. They were going to win one possession. Um, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to be in sync with Garrett Wilson so far. Now he did look good in the preseason, I will say that, but they're gonna focus him, and he's gonna make him throw to these other guys. And if Buffalo can get pressure, we'll see, especially with that offensive line being the way that it is. If Buffalo can get pressure, then they'll have no problem winning this game. Um, Jared did bring up a good point about Sauce Gardner Diggs matchup. That is going to be a scary matchup. And you'd be a little bit worried about that, but I right now I like Josh Allen's team more than I like the Jets team than
No, that's
Aaron
fair.
Rodgers' team.
No, that's fair.
So especially up front, the Bills have a solid line up front. It's not great, but it's solid. So I like Buffalo in this one, and I'm taking the under.
You're taking an under, you said?
Yeah, under 45.5.
Okay. So you don't think it's going to be a big shootout?
No, I think both of these defenses are going to play well. That's what I'm saying. I think both of these defenses play well. I'm one of those guys. I believe when you play defense in the beginning of the year, it's a little bit easier to get in rhythm defensively. I think offensively it's harder to get in rhythm. You have to get going. You have to get chemistry and get guys rolling. And and get back into football formation and shapes and all that stuff. So I don't expect a lot of high scoring games in the first week. It's possible. I'm just never one of those people that be like that. So
Right. No, I get that. It's gonna be Monday now. Definitely an interesting game to talk about for sure.
yeah, no question.
Can they tie?
Yeah, they can tie. It's week one.
I'd much rather them tie.
Somebody's gonna win, bro. It's not gonna be a tie. I mean, that's true. I don't disagree with about how you practice, but even then, no matter how hard you go and practice, it's not going to simulate real game situation because at the end of the day, it's different. There's a competitive spirit. There's a different type of competitive spirit when you're facing team in practice compared to when you're facing another team on the field. I don't disagree with how it's definitely about how you practice stuff. You need to practice like it's a game. If you practice hard and you practice like it's a game situation every time, then you'll be more prepared for it. I do agree with that. But yeah, that's all the games. We got about 4 different picks in this one. So we'll see how it shakes out. I mean, I'll probably end up winning like I always do, but
Give you that one game that gets tied too. Watch Carolina and Atlanta fucking tie.
hey, we did that with the Giants Washington game last year when they tied. I'm pretty sure you had picked Washington and I picked the Giants, and they tied.
Well, then again, I don't think it really counted against us at that point.
I mean, at that point, it didn't. But then the 2 weeks later when they played again, you picked the Giants. You were smart.
But you want to add anything about fantasy?
We've pretty much gone over fantasy. The only thing, watch out for your matchups, people. That's check to see if you don't like the way you drafted. Check your waiver wires. Check free agency. And see if there's a good matchup, not just a good player, but a good matchup.
Look at it like we talked about with Washington and Arizona, a good matchup.
Yeah.
If you need a defense, you can pick up Washington's defense.
That'd be a solid defense to pick up. I don't foresee Arizona Cardinals scoring a lot of points.
I don't know if Zay Flowers is on many people's waiver wires, but if you have him on your bench, you could probably stash him in your flex against the weak Houston secondary. Like we talked about, with the Giants and Dallas game, if you got one of them, play them.
Yeah, CD's a good matchup against the Giants. He killed us last 3 games that we played against him. He's killed us. So
you might be able to get away with playing Jake Ferguson, the tight end from Dallas. Because Dallas always has decent tight ends.
Yeah, Dak likes his tight ends too.
Yeah, and then y'all's secondary is kind of iffy with that position as it is, anyways. So there's a tight end. And for some reason, if you need a quarterback, Sam Howell, like we talked about.
Yeah. But all right, man. It's a good show. Thank you everybody who joined. Thank you everybody who commented. Be sure to subscribe, share, like, do all that good stuff.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate it, Josh. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, get the word out. We're on Twitter. I don't know if anybody else is on.
Twitter, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube. We're on all that stuff. Yeah. So just keep tuning in, keep sharing. We'll be back on Tuesday, more than likely, after the games, where we'll be announcing that I won the picks. And we'll go over the games. We like to go over everything.
Yeah, give a like and a follow. Follow us on Twitter. We've got a Facebook page.
Yeah, appreciate it, y'all. So we'll see y'all on Tuesday, probably around the same time, 7:45, 8 o'clock. So.
Yeah, for anybody that hasn't seen it yet, we have a trailer out, and just stick around real quick, and I'll play so y'all can see it.